episode 26, the penultimate episode. Okay. Now, one more left after this. So we're in 2024 now. Coming off a decision-making December. Like I said, please go back and watch yesterday's video. There was a lot that happened in December of 2023 that really affected 24. Why my retirement date was set in December 31, 2024 was because of the conversation that I had in 2023. And the dude basically lying, right? So I'm just like, at this point, I'm over the military. Things are just, they're not what they used to be. It's not worth it anymore. And at this point, I'm ready to get into content creation. So I'm actually ready to retire. And I looked at it as a sign that I was trying to be greedy, trying to get more money, trying to ride the bench a little bit overseas for another 2 years. And they wouldn't let me do that. So fine. You know what I mean? I'm supposed to be content creating. Let's do it. So I set in January of 24, I submit my retirement paper for 31 December 2024, right? You have to do it no less than a year. You got like 18 months, but again, I wish I had more time. It was not the plan. The plan was to stay until February 2026. So technically, like I said yesterday, I'm still supposed to be on active duty if people had done their jobs, but they didn't. So submit in January. And again, the job working in Honduras was absolutely amazing. I loved what I was doing, and it still continued in 2024. The problem with it was the communication with DC. That's our home base. That's where they process all our paperwork, right? So I submit in January. I didn't get any word back until like March. When you request retirement, it's a request. It's a packet of paper you have to put together. They have to make sure that they're not going to any type of conflict, any type of war to let you out. Technically, they can say no. They can, if we don't want to release him at this time, no. If they're critically short on your job, they won't let you go. But it's rare that they would do that. So it's a given, but still you need that actual paperwork in order to get things rolling. So I submit in January. Don't hear anything back till February. The reason why I say that is because in January, in February, in March, I'm calling just to say, hey, can I get an update? The same people that didn't do the paperwork from 2023, I still have to call them, right? So I hate needing other people's assistance. That's one of the things. I just hate that, because when the decision is put in someone else's hands, you're on their time, you're on their schedule, and you have to deal with their attitude because you need something from them. And I just hate being in that position. But it was nothing I could do about it. I just didn't hear anything. They ignored messages. The people that I worked with, again, you have rank and you have all this authority, but when it's time to reach out and get answers and answer questions, people get scared and they don't want to use their rank for that. They want to use it, to stomp around in their own home, for lack of a better term. You want to use that authority here with us when we already give you that respect. We give you that level of respect for your position and who you are. But now we need assistance. We need reinforcements. We need you to make a call to get someone on the phone, and you can't do that. So that's when it shows that you're phony, like you're fake. You're fake. Your authority is fake. You don't know how to use it. It's easy to use it against those that, that understand, those that are lower than you. But if you have the rank to not even to give commands or tell somebody what to do above you, but to get someone on the phone, you can't do that. Like, y'all motherfuckers are useless. Y'all are useless. So there was no assistance there. And again, this is after all of the work that I had put in, right? The people that are there now, I in-processed them all. This is in 2024. I am processed them all except for one person, but I'm not dealing with him in any capacity. We're actually peers. But I am processed them. So I was the first face you guys saw when you got to Honduras. You know why? Because part of you're going international, you're working overseas, is when you go to the airport, you want to see a familiar face. Honduras is one of those places where when you get to the airport, you got 10,000 people, trying to get you a taxi, trying to take your bags, trying to push your bags to the car because everybody's trying to make $1. So it may seem nice, like, oh, let me take your bags, let me help you, but they expect payment. They're not doing it because you got 10,000 bags in your hand. They're doing it because you look like this is your first time to the country and they can take advantage of you. That's just what it is, right? And so to combat that, I meet them there. Hey, you're going to see tall black dude at the airport, probably with an orange shirt or like blue or something like that. That's me. Don't let anyone take your bags from you or anything like that because they're going to expect payment. And you just got here. You don't even have the money yet, right? So the entire office, I was the first face that they saw when they arrived. But now that I'm kind of needing like a little bit of reinforcement, hey, make a call, like see what's going on with my retirement. This isn't anything that I'm just playing with. This is me. Am I going to be leaving Honduras to go back to the United States or not? So I don't get any word back. And for those who were here yesterday, those who watched the video from yesterday, you remember the guy. And this was the nail in the coffin, right? This was the nail in the coffin, the dirt, the cement, and probably another fucking coffin on top of it. Sorry, Mom. This is going to be one of those stories. The guy that told me that they don't have any more spots for me, that I had to basically get out. He calls me because my paperwork goes to them. All of our paperwork goes to DC. This is where our people are. They have to process it. He calls me and says, hey, you have your retirement paperwork in, but if you want to stay longer, you can. This is why he's on the on-site list. And again, I'm not going to rehash what happened in yesterday's video. But if you remember yesterday's video, listen to what I just said. He calls me and says, if you want to stay longer, you can. Because I see that you're trying to retire in December. And we can extend you and keep you in place longer. One, I probably would have stayed in Honduras. I probably would have had he told me this earlier, right? But at this point, I'm so over everything. I don't care where you're willing to send me. I'm not staying in. So I'm just like, this is the same guy who told me twice, because I reiterated the fact that you don't have anywhere for me. You're now telling me that you can extend me out until the end of 2025, basically until 2026. Oh, to give you more time to retire. First of all, I don't need more time to retire. I already have my plan in place. I'm good. So I don't need your assistance. So I'm like, okay, but we already have a person that's coming here, that's scheduled to come here to Honduras in July. So how are you going to do that if you extend me? Oh, we'll just change their assignment and send them somewhere else. What? What? You'll do what? Because I asked you to do this same thing in December before I made this decision. So now you call me in February saying that you actually can do that, which I knew they could do that because they've already spilled their beans to us, telling us this when we're going throughout the process. SMD. SMD. So I was at that point, right? If you don't know what SMD stands for, suck my, right? SMD. I don't care where you're sending me. I don't want to hear nothing you got to say. It's a wrap for y'all. I'm out. Approve my paperwork. I'm gone. And that was the nail in the coffin, and possibly a second coffin on top of that. For you to sit on the phone and tell me when I wanted to go to Bolivia that I can't because you was in your feelings. Grown ass man, in your fucking feelings. I didn't do anything to you. I'm still trying to work. But you in your feelings, okay. I have a plan. Like, y'all walk around like y'all the only ones with plans to get out and all that type of stuff. I already accomplished my goal. I was basically skating for the rest of my time. And I actually started to enjoy the military once I got up higher because it was more thinking and managing versus doing physical stuff. And then I liked the job, but I didn't like the job that much to be used that way. And no, that's not happening. No, SMD. SMD. I don't care if that gets me in trouble. I don't care if you feel disrespected, because I do, right? I do. And so now you just put yourself on the on-site list. So when I see you, it's on. No questions asked. Just because of that. So I get it approved in around April, May timeframe. So I'm out. I know that, everything's set up and I'm ready to go, ready to be out. During this time, though, I'm still traveling around Honduras, seeing units and stuff like that. So it wasn't a bad time. The only time it was really bad in the actual office itself is when the new dude had gotten there and he was trying to, be a yes man to the director and be in his good graces. I don't do stuff like that. That was weak, right? We're an office of men. Like that's petty stuff. Why can't we have conversations? Y'all walk around with your chest out like y'all are all that, but y'all don't have heart. Like y'all are based on being in the military. Y'all aren't men because we could have a conversation. So y'all whack. Luckily, I was cool with the Army attaché. He's a really cool guy. And we said, screw it, man. We just gonna go see units. Cause he was on his way out in July anyway. So he was like, screw it. We'll just make appointments, man. We'll go to like the military graduations from the academy. We'll go up to see the Navy. We'll go to the language academy. And during this time, I was also working to teach English to the cadets too. So that got me out of the office. At this point, I'm just trying to stay out of the office as much as possible. And, I can do that because the new guy who got there in 2023 wants to be up the director's butt the entire time. So you have that. You have that. The director is happy with the dude being stuck up his butt. So we're cool there. I don't have to worry about that. And we're actually doing something, right? We're not just playing around. We're actually visiting units. And like I said, that was some of the best times I've had. Just being able to go out into some of these smaller communities and, sightsee on the way that was there. So I ended up getting my actual orders in like June timeframe. So what it is when you submit your retirement paperwork, your request, you say the day you want to retire. 31 December, I want the world to celebrate my retirement every single year from here on out. 31 December. So then it's like, how many vacation days do you have? And then because I'm overseas, you get an extra 30 days on top of however many vacation days you have to out process. So that date put me in like July. I told him I wanted to retire out of Fort Sam Houston, San Antonio. And it was really cool. It was really easy. But what happened is so this is the last person that got added to the on-site list. So what happened before was there was a guy who was my same rank. He kept telling them he was retiring. And he just wasn't transparent with what he was doing. What he was trying to do was he was trying to get his spouse, I think, a job overseas over in Honduras. So Basically, he was skating for probably about a year. They had already taken all his duties away from him, and he wasn't really doing anything, kind of just coming in and checking email and stuff like that, because they said he was retiring. Once you get on that retirement block, you don't pick up any new tasks, because it's why I'm leaving. And plus, you don't care. Like, I don't care about none of this. I ain't doing none of this. I'm getting ready to leave. I'm not leaving to go to another base. I'm literally leaving to go to Fort Living Room to go sit down. And so what happens is he strung them along for a year. I ain't got nothing to do with that. But because we were both the same rank, we're both enlisted, they looked at me like, oh, well, you say you're leaving, in August. We just got to be sure that you're leaving in August. Like, we got to be sure that that's really happening. Why? Like, why do you have to be sure that that's really happening? I'm telling you that I'm leaving in August. Whatever this other dude did to y'all, that ain't got nothing to do with me. So every week, this one dude, the dude that I told y'all that that there's people who work overseas and they don't know, well, he didn't know Spanish. His Spanish was absolutely dreadful, right? Mine is not perfect by any means, but I can make it work, right? And, I can connect with people. I'm not afraid to be in that position. But he is one of these people who are so high and mighty, they're above it, right? Because he's been put on this pedestal his whole career. At the end of the day, he's weak. His mind is weak and he ain't got no heart, because he's afraid to leave the embassy. Because when you leave the embassy, which is United States territory, so technically we speak English at the embassy, even though there's a lot of Spanish being spoken there. They need to change that. Well, as soon as you leave the embassy, you're on the economy and you got to speak Spanish. So he's supposed to be doing the same thing. He's supposed to be going to these different units and stuff like that too, but he don't get no respect. He don't get no respect from the locals, the local leadership, none of that. Why? Because he's not trying to improve his Spanish. He's trying to avoid it. He's trying to avoid those interactions. And sometimes he can't, right? Because they have Independence Day. They have things for like this week for Semana Santa. So they have things that they have going on. And so the military is very intertwined with the government. And so when the ambassador is meeting with president or cabinet members, a lot of times she'll take a senior military leader. He can't hang, so much so, right, that one of the military leaders, I think like the Secretary of Defense or something, or the Minister of Defense or something like that, said to his face, like in a dinner with everybody, like, hey man, you've been there for like a year and your Spanish is not improving. Like, your wife is way better than you. Like, what's wrong? Your Spanish is not improving at all. Like, basically calling him out in front of everybody. That's what he's supposed to do, right? Because again, they're not expecting you to speak perfect Spanish, but the fact that you're trying, they appreciate that. And a lot of them can speak, a lot of the high-ranking government officials can speak English. But again, you're on their territory. So you have to, if they want to speak Spanish, they're going to fucking speak Spanish. That's up to you to learn it. It ain't up to them to speak English. And so when they travel with us to the United States, we not speaking Spanish. No, you in the United States, bro. Hello, how are you? So that's what, it's a little bit of gamesmanship like that. But yeah, so this guy who's hiding in the embassy day in and day out. He's not going on, overnight, week-long trips up to some of these places that we go to because he's afraid. So he's on my ass every week about when I'm leaving. Bro, I told you I'm leaving in August because initially it was August 2nd. I'm leaving in August. Oh, we just want to update about, when you're leaving. Dog, I told you it's August 2nd. I don't want to stay here any longer because of people like you. So I don't have to play this game to where I'm trying to like drag my time out here. And I got content creation waiting on me. I'm good. I'm cool. I'm Gucci. oh, we just want to check and see when you're leaving because we got to let, everybody know. You don't have to let nobody know. I can let them know. I'm not afraid. I'm not getting kicked out for bad conduct. I'm not I'm not getting a dishonorable discharge. I'm retiring. It's not a secret. So why are you trying to act like it's you're having these conversations like in the hallway? Like, yeah, I talked to Felix and just to say when he was leaving, he said it was going to be around like August. Like, why are y'all talking like I'm not here? Anybody can ask me, but y'all's true colors as like men not having any guts is showing right now. And so this dude was just like, why are you bothering me so? Like, what is it to you? You don't rock with me because I don't rock with you. That's cool. But dog, I'm leaving in August. And I end up stretching that and moving that up into July just to get the hell out of there. So ended up leaving. Everything was good. He got added to the on-site list just because he's actually from Charleston. So yeah, he's from South Carolina too. And if I see you around Charleston or anywhere like that, it's on site. Just because, like he just, how you have those coworkers that just do little underhanded stuff all the time, say little things, but it's like the only reason why you're saying that is because you feel protected by the hierarchy of rank and by the hierarchy of this job. You would not say that stuff to me, about me, near me, none of that if we were just two dudes on the street. So I'm going to make you say that same stuff you were saying before. We don't both have to be retired. Only one of us has to be. Oh, I volunteer as tribute. I volunteer. So yeah, if I see you at any point after this, it's on. Straight up. I'm not playing with that. I'm dead serious. So that's 4 people on the on-site list. It's not going to grow anymore. These are just people, throughout the 25 years that have negatively affected me constantly and, or, without merit, without reason. And we just going to see if you hold that same energy when there is no boundary between me and you. And as of now, there's no boundary between me and anyone else. So I end up coming back to Fort Sam Houston to out process. And, the out processing process it's pretty good. What it is it's mandated by Congress that we go through different courses, different classes in order to out process. Basically, finance classes. You do have to go through not necessarily like a mental evaluation, but they do ask you constantly on that in the process, like, are you okay? Like, do you need more counseling? Do you need to talk to somebody? I will say that it has really improved and they're really trying to make sure, and this is not for people who are just retiring. These are for people who are ETSing, just, people who have done their 4 years and they're getting out. They've done their 8 years and they're getting out. We go through a lot of briefings about health insurance, dental insurance. I still don't have dental insurance. I still don't. It is so much paperwork. It is so much stuff to just think about that I've never had to think about in 25 years. And so all of the briefings are just letting you know, like, hey, you can get free resumes written. You can get home loans, the VA home loans. They got other VA like land, property, programs, like disability programs, life insurance, like for your spouse, if you can do that. You can get unemployment if you ETS. You can't get it if you're retired. Trust me, I tried. But it's just little stuff like that. So you're going through all of these different courses. And I didn't even go through all of them just because I started my process late. You're supposed to start the process about a year out. A lot of it is just about transitioning from being a soldier to being a civilian. For a lot of people, that is a hard transition. I've always been the most civilian I could be as a soldier. That's always been, something people have known about me. Like, I don't give a fuck about this army stuff. I'm not G.I. Joe. I'm not trying to be G.I. Joe. I had a plan. It's for school. Now, the war in Iraq and Afghanistan kind of prolonged that, and I had a duty that I had to do as a soldier, but that wasn't why I joined. I didn't join for no damn patriotism and all that type of stuff. No, I joined to get paid for school. So a lot of those courses are, you get free LinkedIn premium for, I don't know, a year or something like that. A lot of it is helping you find a job. Jobs for heroes, specific companies that want to hire veterans. It's just, opening your eyes to stuff that you now have to think about that we never had to think about before. So I did that from August to December. And so this is how I can tell everyone that retirement is cool, because basically once I got back to the United States, I wasn't working anymore. My only job was to go through and do these courses. So I had a lot of downtime. Sometimes there was weeks at a time that I didn't have any courses or anything to actually do. At first, yes, it's weird because I'm used to being accounted for. I'm used to, if you are 2 minutes late to formation, they're sending somebody to your room, they're calling your phone, where are you? Because accountability is a really big thing. I didn't have that. So I'm free to do whatever I want to do. And, that's the essence of retirement, getting to do what you want to do. So, yeah, I slept in. Yeah, I stayed up late. Yeah, I didn't do anything. For some days, I didn't do jack, nothing. And it was a really good feeling. But after about a month or two, you start to enter a little bit of isolation because, you may be catching up on sleep. That becomes you're just sleeping a lot. You might not have left your house 3 or 4 days. That's a little bit of isolation. And it can get depressing if you let it get that way, right? Because now I have to think about what's going to happen on 1 January moving forward. And for me, the only reason why I'm able to take a year off, and that's essentially what I'm doing, is taking a year off. I know everybody thinks that I'm never going to work again. I hope I never have to work again. But that's based on content creation actually being profitable for me. That's just the plan that I had. Now, we all know that we've all made plans and it doesn't always work out that way. So there's a level of worry there. So it's like, man, I can talk a good game and say, yeah, I'm going to take a year off and think that I've, put everything in place to be able to do that. But have I really? And, it's just a level of worry, and you have to find something that's going to take up your time. If anybody thinks that they're going to retire and just do nothing, that's not good for your mental health. That's really not. Am I saying you have to go get a 9 to 5? That's why a lot of people go be Walmart greeters. It still gives you a reason to get up every day. And that's part of what keeps you living, because you lay around and you isolate yourself, you watch TV, you start to get unhealthy. And so I started to recognize that, like, oh, yeah, I'm bugging. I'm starting to get like really unhealthy, and just a level of depression. I can say that. Like, it's probably a level of depression. Just what is next? No matter how I prepared for this moment for 24 years. And now that it's here, it's like, it's here. There is no turning back. There is no changing of my mind. Like, this is it. So I have to make this work. So it's a level of pressure that, I applied to myself. And so I always tell everybody, yes, it's going to be a great time initially. enjoy it, kick your feet up. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to go anywhere. You don't have to do nothing. You're on your own time. But what happens when that wears off? Because it's going to wear off. What are you going to do? I don't care if you go garden, if you go, antiquing, window shopping, something. Like nowadays, it's easy for me to not get dressed during the day. I have to make sure that I'm going and I'm getting dressed. I'm taking a shower like I'm going anywhere, like I would do any normal day, because it's easy for me to say, now, shit, I don't have to do that. Why would I? And so I got used to that from April to kind of December. And that, helped me move forward. And plus, it's unknown about they have a lot of programs that are available to veterans, but not all of it's guaranteed. You still have to apply to a lot of those programs. Now, you have a high acceptance rate, but there may be a different rate between the max rate and like the mid rate. If I was born in Texas, me and my family members would get the Hazelwood Act, which is they get all of their education paid for free. Like 4 years, graduate, doctorate, medical, all of that. That would be under the Hazelwood Act. But because I didn't join in Texas, I don't necessarily get that. But I still get like 4 years of education. So it's just those little things like that. So it's like what you want to do. So that's why I bring up going to school, just things to keep me busy, because content creation does keep me busy, but it's replacing an Army lifestyle of, it's not a 9-to-5 job. It's waking up at 5 to be at PT at 6:30, and then sometimes not coming back home until 6:30 in the evening and 7. So for me, an hour of doing something every day won't necessarily fill that void. So it has to be, I don't have to fill an entire 18 hours, 20 hours, but I have to fill enough to where I'm just not like in that same routine of just, waking up, eating breakfast and laying in bed all day to watch TV. That's going to get unhealthy really quickly for one, your body, and two, like your mind. So I understand 100% when, older people they're like forced to retire because of age, because they just can't do it anymore. It's not their choice, but they just can't do the job anymore. So they're forced to retire, and they don't last long after that, because now they don't have anything else to do. There's nothing else for them to do. As long as you have a purpose, you have a reason to get up every day. So I'm going to continue to advise people of that, because I went through it. I know that. And it's easy to go back into, because after I've been ripping and running for like a week or two, it's easy to be like, man, I don't feel like doing that today. I don't feel like doing that. I'm not going to do that. I'm not in the mood to do that. So it's just keeping that purpose going. So that was August to December, just classes, just information, paperwork out the yin yang. Like I said, I still don't have dental insurance. I need to get it. I have it written down to do it. But I just, I hate it. I hate doing that. I hated signing up for healthcare insurance, picking a doctor, using Walgreens as my pharmacy. Like, Walgreens is absolutely terrible. I've never done that before. So now, this is kind of 2025, but all of that stuff kind of led into this. It's like, all of this is first time for me. We have our own pharmacy on the base at the hospital. And then we have like a pharmacy where you can go get refills in like a separate building. But like now it's Walgreens, it's CVS, it's places like that. And it's like, huh? Like, that's different for me. So a lot of it's adjusting. And I think I use those, what is that? August, September, October, November, December, those 5 months to adjust or to get ready to adjust. because that was the most free I had ever been since 1999. And even in 1999, I had the pressure of like, what are you going to do next? But it wasn't pressure from myself. Now it's that pressure is coming from myself of, you know, you want to take a year off. You got to make sure you do the right things to be able to take a year off. I don't want to be reduced to ramen come October, November, right? I want to be able to live comfortably the entire year. Take a year by year at this point. And then I can reassess next year. Like I still was getting resumes done. I'm still getting them done. I still look on Glassdoor. I still look on Indeed. I still look on USA Jobs. I still, Buc-ee's, the gas station next to me, is building a new one. I still look into that type of stuff. I'm not totally like out of the loop as far as working because I still don't know, but we'll save that for 2025. So that's the end of 2024. Everything brought me up until this point. 31 I was actually done without processing the Army, got a new ID, and it was absolutely done. There was nothing else to do. I got my certificate from the president. I got my flag that we all get. It's not folded, which is ass, but whatever. I think they would have folded it if I had a ceremony type stuff. I got, you know, my DD 214, which is the holy grail of paperwork for any military person discharging from the military. So I got all of that, and I was completely finished with everything on 27 December. No. Yes, because I got my ID. But I was done actually on my birthday, 9 December. That's when I got my flag and I got everything. So it's kind of symbolic that that was the day that I was completely free from going back to the base for out process, and I was completely out processed. Only thing I had to do was change over my ID, and I did that on the 27th of December. But yeah, as of 9 December, I was fully out processed. I was pretty much in a holding pattern until 31 December. And then the world rejoiced because now I'm unleashed. The gloves is off. And I can speak freely. If I want to talk bad about our president, I can. My social media can be whatever I want it to be. But, you know, employers still look at that stuff. So, yeah, we could talk more on Thursday just about ideas going forward. And I can tell you what I got from being in the military and what I didn't get from being there. Pros and cons, and to wrap it all up. But that's 2024. I'm officially retired as of December 31st, 2024. I like to say 25 years because February of 25 would have been 25. But I was 24, 10 in what? It was like 13 or 23. 24, 10, and 30, and 23. I posted it on Facebook. What was the amount of time? 24 years, 10 months, and like 23 days or something like that. That's the official time. But I round up just because 25 is a whole number. And I'm actually just two months from 25, if you want to be technical. But yeah, so 31 December, that was it. And I will see y'all in the grand finale episode of 2025. Was that episode 27? Episode 27, and that will finish out the Quarter Century Soldier. Thank y'all for watching. Woo!